Being the single richest black man in the world cannot secure your position in order to move people.
Katt Williams is shining a light on the overlooked side of the rap world, hinting that the feud between Kendrick Lamar and Drake may not be as straightforward as it seems. Katt Williams has sparked intense discussions with his insights into the often dark underbelly of the music industry, especially concerning rap battles. He suggests that these high-profile disputes, like the ongoing feud between Kendrick Lamar and Drake, might be influenced by music moguls like Lucian, the CEO of Universal Music. Too often, artists who've dared to shake the status quo have met tragic fates. Katt points out a particular sinister pattern in these tragedies. Frequently, it's someone from the same city as the artist who deals the fatal blow. He draws on the tragic fates of legends like Michael Jackson and Prince, who both faced dire consequences after disputes with their labels. Katt suggests that there's often someone profiting from such tragedies. Peeking behind the curtains of Universal Music, guided by Lucian reveals a web of contracts with some of the industry's top artists. Kanye West, never one to hold back, made headlines when he referred to Lucian as Drake's baby daddy. During a heated interview on The Download, Kanye let loose, revealing the feelings of betrayal following a joint performance with Drake at the Larry Hoover benefit concert in 2021. Kanye suggests that he would have reconsidered his decision to collaborate if he had known about the backstabbing that was brewing, pointing a finger at Lucian, whom he sardonically called Drake's rich baby daddy. The drama escalated further with Kanye directly addressing Lucian in a fiery verse, suggesting that Lucian had only secured a small benefit for his masters and was under a lifetime deal, which he implied was pitiable. He accused Lucian of being so removed from the current scene that he couldn't even recall a line from Drake's music. Kanye further expanded on his thoughts during an interview with Justin LeBoy, where he continued his critique, referring again to Lucian. He mocked the close relationship between the UMG CEO and Drake, likening it to that of a wealthy, controlling parent. You said rich baby daddy, it's like Drake has a rich baby daddy named Lucian and Universal. It's like my daddy got it, my daddy controlled the spins, my daddy got the DSPs. Drake has a rich baby daddy named Lucian. In 2021, Drake turned heads with a blockbuster deal with the Universal Music, rumored to be worth between $400 to $500 million. This wasn't just any contract, it possibly included equity, giving him a piece of other artists' catalogs within the label. Now let's talk about Kendrick Lamar. A year earlier, October 2020, he signed a major deal with the Universal too. There's chatter that Drake was closely watching Kendrick's rights, adding some extra spice to their ongoing rivalry. Fast forward to 2022, and the buzz got even louder around Drake's business moves. Word on the street was that he secured a deal that not only brought in a hefty sum but also allowed him to own his masters, an achievement that many music legends have struggled to reach. This sparked a debate. Was Drake's success purely down to his talent, or did his cultural connections give him an unfair advantage? On Twitter, folks were saying his background matches those of influential music execs, possibly smoothing his path to these lucrative deals. But there's a darker side to this saga. Serious allegations have surfaced linking both Drake and Universal Music CEO Lucian to a rumor trafficking link within the entertainment industry. A lawsuit against Diddy has thrown Lucian's name into the spotlight, accusing them of not just financial misconduct but also involvement in distributing activities and industry parties. Kendrick didn't hold back in his diss track either. He blasted the scene with heavy accusations, suggesting underhand activities were being masked as normal industry interactions. He even hinted that Drake's plush residence, dubbed the Embassy, might soon be under the same scrutiny as Diddy's past hangouts. Back in 2013, Kendrick Lamar dropped a verse on Big Sean's track Control that really shook things up. He boldly declared himself the king of New York and challenged his peers, including Drake and J. Cole. While it seemed confrontational, Kendrick later explained he was just fueling the competitive spirit, aiming to reach the top, not to throw shade. But guess what? Drake didn't see it in that way. He took Kendrick's words as personal challenge, sparking a beef that would simmer for years. Drake's response to Kendrick's challenge wasn't just talk. He hit the studio to make his feelings known. In his album Nothing Was the Same, released in the same year, Drake seems to throw a subtle jab at Kendrick in the track Language, addressing the whole ordeal with a slick verse. But that wasn't the end of it. Kendrick, during a freestyle with Schoolboy Q, appeared to mock Drake's album titled Nothing Was the Same, adding more fuel to their growing feud. As if this wasn't enough, Drake fired back during his feature on Future's track Shit, where he highlighted his influence in the music scene, even bringing his tour to Kendrick City, suggesting he made it possible for Kendrick to perform there. The plot thickened at the 2014 Grammy Awards, where Macklemore won Album of the Year over Kendrick's Good Kid, Mad City, a decision that stirred up plenty of controversy. Macklemore texted Kendrick to say he thought Kendrick was robbed and even shared his apology publicly, which Drake criticized as cheap in a Rolling Stone interview. He felt if apologies were in order, they should have been extended to all nominees. Meanwhile, Kendrick seemed to downplay the tension in a radio interview, suggesting people might be reading too much into the feud. But the industry buzz wouldn't die down. When Meek Mill accused Drake of using a ghostwriter in 2015, it stirred up a storm of diss tracks and comments. Drake defended his collaborative approach to music in the Fader interview, but fans couldn't help recalling Kendrick's jab at ghostwriters in his track King Kunta. Fast forward to 2016. Drake's album Views changed the game, introducing a new sound with hits like One Dance and Hotline Blink, which soared him to the top charts, making him the year's most streamed artist. Even with his success, Drake seemed to continue the lyrical battle, dropping hints and jabs in his music. The saga took a dramatic turn in 2022 with Kendrick's album Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers, where he directly mentioned Drake on Father Time, reflecting on Kanye's attempt to mediate, which Kanye later labeled as manipulated. Kendrick's appearance on Future and Metro Boomins Like That further escalated things as he responded to J. Cole's mention of the Big Three, dismissing both Drake and Cole with "After the Big Three, it's just Big Me." Jake's response at Florida concert was bold: "There's no man alive who can mess with me." Despite this, Drake's musical responses seemed more subdued. Instead of studios hits, he maintained his presence on social media, leaving fans waiting for more substantial musical comebacks. The cover art for Not Like Us is particularly telling, a bird's eye view of Drake's mansion tagged like a sex offender map. Now Drake wasn't going to let this slide. He hit back with The Hard Part 6, where he addresses the allegations head-on but interestingly brings up Miley Bobby Brown. Even though Kendrick hadn't mentioned her in his tracks, Drake asserts his innocence and interest in adults only, contrasting himself with allegations by saying, "Only effing with Whitney, not Miley Bobby Brown's. I'd never looked twice at no teenager." In The Hard Part 6, Drake attempts to dismiss the PDF file allegations by claiming his fame would have led to an arrest if there were any truth to the accusations. But hang on a second, what about the notorious delay in justice we've seen with other celebrities like R. Kelly, Harvey Weinstein, and Jeffrey Epstein? Just because someone hasn't been arrested yet doesn't mean they're not under the microscope. It's peculiar though that most of The Hard Part 6 seems to be Drake defending himself rather than firing new shots at Kendrick. Another buzz is that Lucian might have ditched Diddy when he got wind of some alleged secret recordings. Rumor has it, Lucian was plotting to bring Drake into a shady trafficking scheme that was supposedly running within the music industry. So when Kendrick Lamar started calling out these serious trafficking claims, word on the street is that Drake got a direct call from Lucian, his influential backer, advised him to dial back the drama and release a more subdued track like The Hard Part 6. Here's where it gets even more twisted. Some folks believe Lucian and other industry heavyweights initially fanned the flames of the Kendrick vs. Drake beef to boost profits and propel Drake up the ranks. But when Kendrick's accusations started hitting too close to home, particularly dragging Lucian's name into the ongoing Diddy lawsuit, they all suddenly slammed on the brakes. This throws a spotlight on how the music industry might manipulate conflicts for profit. With both Kendrick and Drake caught in this web, it begs the question of just how much of their rivalry is real versus manufactured. What's your take on Katt Williams' revelations about the planned nature of rap beefs? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if you found this insightful, don't forget to like, share and subscribe for more deep dives into the music industry's secrets.